beef buffalo wild wings. After several years of working at this company, I finally had enough. Employees are grossly mistreated, and our jobs are held over our heads, like we should be grateful to work for a company that literally doesn't care about you unless you're dying, or a family member has passed away. I don't mean to say this in an offensive way, because I'm not entirely educated on the matter, but we get a lot of people in the Indian community who are unable to eat beef. As a result, they come to BWW for wings. What they may not know is that the wings are cooked in beef tallow. Our managers tell us not to say anything about it either. Cooks are not paid evenly throughout the kitchen, regardless of skill level, time within the company or manager favoritism. I was making $17 an hour as a cook, more than people who had been there longer than me, and some shift leads. My GM told me if they found out how much I was making, she'd have a riot on her hands. 90% of them are supporting a family, or trying to, on minimum wage. Cleaning procedures at the store I worked at were atrocious. Some of which are basically using hot water to spray off the containers that hold the raw chicken. The sauce pumps, and I cannot fucking exaggerate this, had mushrooms growing in them, because they hadn't been cleaned and sanitized. If you've ever gotten sick from BWW, I guarantee it was due to cross-contamination or temperature. After telling my co-workers I was leaving, and telling my GM to eat a bag of dicks, I'm finally free of that prison. Anyone working there, get out before it's too late. Anyone who eats there, I seriously suggest you to consider other options. Undefined. I'll never understand why businesses treat employees poorly. It's literally counterintuitive. Research and practice shows that good pay and supportive management result in a 30% bump in service industry and a 20% in non-service. Literally, by being a dick they are kicking themselves in the money balls. As a bar manager at a restaurant group, I came in with zero restaurant management experience, but was brought on to fix their god-awful finances for their alcohol sales. Their current management told me to never trust employees, and they should be treated like children, even though you had to be 21 to work there. I didn't do that. I treated them like adults, and actually cared about them. We started to turn a profit only 6 weeks there. Turnover slowed to a crawl, and the workers actually cared. That is, unless I wasn't there for the day. Every time I wasn't there, the other managers wouldn't be their allies, but massive douches, and there were always problems to fix when I got back. Needless to say, the staff was sad I was leaving for another restaurant, and management was confused why the staff actually cared about me leaving. Weird. Treating people like humans worked. Edited to fix autocorrects. Thank you for caring about your fellow employees. It may have been thankless at times, but I'm sure those employees will always remember how much you cared about them. Oh wow. There is a BWW place in the strip mall nearby. I was curious what the food is like, but never tried it myself. I guess I'm never gonna try it ever. Your workplace actually sounds very similar to a restaurant I worked at years ago. The owners and managers treated workers like garbage and never tried keeping the kitchen sanitary. Also, their vegetarian option literally had white beef fat in it. They went out of business in a year lol. They are trying to rebrand themselves by adding new menu items, but nothing changes internally. Basically polishing a turd. You aren't missing anything by not eating there either. You're avoiding food poisoning, spaghetti service, and a bad restaurant experience. Nothing is truly vegan or vegetarian at restaurants. The BWW black bean burger is microwaved, then put on a flat top in the ready-to-eat section, where the bacon and steak is cooked. So your veggie burger is cooked on lingering beef or pork fat. The BWW sounds worse than the McDonald's. Yikes. Thanks for the sap. My interest in the wings place just became non-existent. Damn, that explains a lot. My fiancé and I would eat there every once in a while, and we always felt sick afterwards. Almost hungover. Likely due to the issues I mentioned in my post. Even the plates, cups and silverware are cleaned in a half-ass fashion. The dishwasher water needs to be changed every hour, and it got changed maybe 2 times the entire day. All the grease, sauces and God knows what else are still lingering behind. So much for my trying their food. There's a BWW place not too far away from me, but I know I'll never go there now. You'd be better off making them at home, or going literally anywhere else. I've worked at 3 different stores and the last was the worst by far. Op, can you drop some recipes to make them at home? Oof. Can't say I'm surprised. I got majorly sick from gluten cross-contamination. I have celiac after a manager sweared to me that it was all good. The only thing that is gluten-free are the fries. Everything else has some form of gluten. Even the black bean veggie burger. I had food poisoning from eating there once. There's truly nothing special about the experience. I do love the sauces, but I'll just buy bottles and make my own at home. So much better. Triple check the expiration on the bottles you buy. Good to know. Thank you. I'm sorry your experience there was so horrible. I hope find somewhere that appreciates what you put in. Hindus aren't allowed to eat beef because cows are considered to be sacred. I think my mom might start crying if she finds out that BWW wings are cooked in beef tallow. It's always bothered me that the company does it and tries to keep it hushed. Anything for a profit, even at the expense of others. You know, I worked for BWW as a manager for a long time. Corporate, for that matter. It's not something hushed. It's on their allergen menu saying it's fried in beef shortening. Also, it depends on location for cleanliness. Don't say it's a whole company. My entire district, when I lived in IL, now live in as in these stores here were the reason I quit, had backup sauce containers and pump that were changed out every shift. Don't generalize a company based on one store. Red Robin also treats their employees like dirt. I don't trust any chain. I try really hard to patron small businesses only. Small businesses are a whole different level of peeped. Simply because they can get away with things that most chains cannot. That's true as well. But small businesses usually do a lot more to keep their employees. Because they can't afford or keep up with the turnover rate like big chain stores. Damn. I was really close to applying there not too long ago. Glad I didn't. The food industry as a whole is something else, but this is horrifying to read. It's not worth an ounce of your effort. They will not give back what you put into the restaurant. IDK, what has gotten to me? First I read Halloween as Christmas. Now for the first like 5 minutes I had no idea what this was about. I thought I read BMW, turns out it's BWW. Ha ha ha. That made me laugh. Thank you. Glad something positive came from me reading wrong. I was so intrigued. People talking about BMW and wings, like it's the most normal thing in the world. Then I go to the comments and it's even worse. Thought I was losing my mind for a minute. Can you notify the local health department about this? Trust me, I've been doing all I can to notify the health inspector and get that place closed until it's safe. While I was still working there we had an inspection and failed. The areas that were failed on were the ones that management freaked out about getting clean. Then letting everything go back to speep until the next inspection. In 2010, I had 2 serving jobs. One was at BWW. I had an accident at serving job 1 and fractured foot as a result. My manager at BWW seriously got pissed at me when I handed him my doctor's note. My manager, what do you mean you can't work? I literally have a bright pink cast on my leg and I'm on crutches. Me, how the f*** do you want hold the tray? Joe? Balance it on my head? Wow. So even with the doctor's note and your bright pink cast screaming the obvious at him, he still didn't get the clue. They'll act like you did it on purpose too. Oh, he got the clue. He just didn't care. My friend worked there for 8 years, at first being a cook then as a server, and they said pretty much this as well. Don't ever eat there. It's super disgusting and you will get food poisoning. Good for speaking up. The people deserve to know what they are putting in their bodies. 8 years. More power to them for sticking through it that long. Honestly, If more people spoke up about the issues within their restaurant, a lot of stores would be closed down. But because they can't afford to not work, no one speaks up. So it continues. Well, they did actually speak up, and small things did change for that BWW that they worked at. They got a better GM who actually cared about the workers in the store. Because my friend worked there so long, they were given the job for GM, but declined because of university. They no longer work there, but in their last few years it went pretty well for them.